Hello and welcome to the Faith Building Podcast episode 0. It's all about spirituality, self-growth, and we want to give you more faith in a hectic everyday life. So, like I said, it's about faith, spirituality, and inner trust. And we are your hosts,
Vladi, Kuna.
and Norman Gräter. And we are very happy that you take time out of your busy life to listen to us. And we want to, invite you into the world to have more faith in life.
I love what you said, Norman, and we would love to also point out that sometimes we hear the word faith and people automatically think it has to do something with religion, but this is about your belief, having faith in you and others, and how this can really help you strengthen all the areas of your life.
And we need a lot of faith in these days of time. And in episode 0, we want to take you on a small, tiny journey to get to know us a little better and get into our world, why we think and know that we can help you build more faith in this hectic everyday life. And maybe I want to kick it off with my own story. I had such a big vision for over 6 years. I wanted to sell out a big venue here in Germany with 6,000 people, and I worked diligently on this goal every day and every night, basically. And then COVID-19 hit. So 2 weeks prior to the big opening of this live event with a live classical orchestra and a lot of motivational things I wanted to present on stage, it was cancelled by the state. And I fell into my deepest hole. And I always say I turned from really knowing this material into really living the material, because knowing brings you nowhere. If you read 1,000 books but you don't apply them, it does not help you to go anywhere. And this is basically what happened to me. And I had to learn 3 things in the time after this crash, I want to say. And one was faith. And faith in the meaning, and it took quite a while until I realized that faith in the meaning that I had to learn that I'm not by project, because the project failed. And in the back of my mind, the little voice I had, and we will address this voice in further episodes much more, because actually, to be honest, give a little sneak preview. This voice that you have in your head is the only problem that you have. Again, it's the only problem you have in your life, this constant talking voice. But more about the voice a little later. Back to the story. So the voice told me, if your project failed, this makes me a failure, right? But who says that the voice is right? In the beginning, I believed the voice. I said, I failed. I failed the project. I failed my friends, my world, my customers, everything. And this I had to learn, that I was not my project. The project might have failed, but this does not make me a failure. It's just a project I had. And what helped me a lot was Albert Einstein back then and his, now Vladi help me, the theory of relativity.
Relativity.
Thank you. I remember now. The theory of relativity, where I actually never got this in school, like E equals mc times 2. I never understood that. But what I think I learned from Bob Proctor back then, he shared it in a very smart way. He drew 3 boxes. Box number 1 was called A, number 2 was B, and number 3 was C. And they were different in sizes. So we had a small one, this is A. We had a medium one, which was big, a little bigger than A, which is called B, and C was the biggest one. And Einstein back then was asked, Mr. Einstein, is B, the medium one in the middle, is it big or small? And Einstein's answer was, B is. So all the other people said, is what? Is big or small? You forgot the answer, Mr. Einstein. And he said, no, B just is. And they just did not understand it. And they asked him again, so is it big or small? And he said, no, it's neither. It just is. Because if you approach it and look from A, from the smaller one, B appears very big. But if you look from C, the bigger one, and look at B, it appears very small. So B just is. So the cancellation of my project just was, because it's in the past. The things that are happening in your life, it just is. The things that are happening in the world, it just is. It's all relative. And if we can get a handle on that and realize everything that happens is not against us, but sometimes it's for us, then we build the faith that we need to come through this little bit hectic world, I want to say. And to cut a long story very short, now the whole project is being moved to Hollywood, into a Hollywood movie, and we'll do a blockbuster very soon about the whole story. And by that, we will approach many, many more people than I would have had the chance to do in Stuttgart, Germany, with the 6,000. Like the producer said, at one point, we will reach 1 million people that that will watch or will have watched the movie. And that's just a number I cannot really grasp. And this is what shows me that you need to have faith that everything is good, not will be good in the future at one point. Everything is good. And this is what we want to share with you during the next couple of episodes, how you can do that, how you can pull yourself out of your hole. And as a little intro, this was my story, how I built faith and how I learned so much about this topic that we have a lot to share with you. Vladi, how about your story?
Oh, I always love listening to your story. I've heard it so many times and I love hearing it all the time because it's truly inspiring. And my story, I was originally going to share a different story, but I think I bring it back to Bob Proctor because that's how we met with Norman. So I think it's very relative to what we do here, and what we're really trying to deliver as well for you is help you, because we were stuck. Well, I definitely was. And as Norman just said, and sometimes it's just an observation from now. And like Steve Jobs said, if you connect the dots looking backwards, you can see clearly where you went somewhere you could have done better. We can always do better. So that's the thing. We can be more every single day. And my story goes to a stuckness, really. Well, it was caused by myself. So, as I created quite a good career in a legal sort of a financial taxes background, and then I had children, and as a mom, I wanted to be present to them. So I didn't go back to my job, which was great. But, then I felt stuck. I was doing a million things, started working for a school system and for a year because it gave me the flexibility. And I thought this is the best I can do. And I was like, Norman, like you built something, but I felt really dissatisfied. So actually my push came out of a huge dissatisfaction, thinking there's so many people doing so much more and they have better freedom, time, like financial time and mental freedom. And I thought, I just knew, and my gut was telling me this is not the best I'm doing. Obviously, I couldn't figure out what it was. So because of that, and being in that overwhelmed environment and feeling stressed about it, I didn't feel I was on a purpose. I didn't know what my next step is. I wanted to be the best mom. However, I felt that I lost confidence from the previous world. And obviously, because I dwelled in this for a year, I found myself with huge health challenge. And I'm not going to give you details because I actually promised if I heal, I won't talk about it anymore, but I'll jump straight to that's how I actually built a faith. I've heard Bob Proctor, our mentor, who said, if you find yourself with disease, it means your mind is not at ease. And I've made a committed decision on that day that I will do whatever it takes until the day I die to master my mind and learn everything there is about growth and mind. And I have been doing that, and that put me on the path where starting with this is actually building faith. And Norman said, what were his 3 things? And mine were really faith is both of us. Without the faith, we can't move. And we're talking about faith as a belief. Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you borrow a belief of someone who's around you, who you trust. And I think that's the key. It's like now, especially we're in a Christmas mode, and you can hear all these, you can see all the movies, and everything is about belief and belief and belief. And it really comes down, it's the same faith. So do you have faith in you? And that's how my story kind of evolved, was jumping into personal development, changing my career completely. And, it wasn't just my voice. as Norman pointed out, we'll talk more about the voice, but my voice was really strong, saying, I mean, you can't jump. You've been trained in legal. Now you're going to be a coach and you can't even speak, and English is not your first language. You can't write books. I mean, I had a bucket full of, I call it my own baggage, which I was creating and carrying it and feeling it's heavier and heavier. But really, when Norman was talking about the hole, we dig our own hole. And if we want to get out of it, we have to stop digging. I think this is something that Bob Proctor said as well. Stop digging if you want to get out of the hole. And really, it was the faith. And for me, it was taking responsibility. That was the key. Taking responsibility for everything that happened to me, for my life, my feelings, my thinking, and my results. And I wasn't really happy to take a responsibility for my results because they weren't the best. And I was blaming, you know, the system and me having have to stay home and then not having these chances. And, you know, we can just roll in this. And then I thought, no, I'm going to create better life. And that's how we really met with Norman. We met almost 6 years ago, but we've been studying together for over 4 years, twice a week and more. And really, I really feel this is the most growth we've had with masterminds, accountability. When you surround yourself with the people who are growth oriented and really with the heart to serve. And we just really done so well on our journey that we decided to help you guys.
Yeah, that's the main goal. And as you just shared, Vladi, with the belief, we want to put our belief in you, because this is what actually Phil Goldfine, the Hollywood producer, said. He said at one point, you know, Norman, as long as you don't believe in yourself, just borrow my belief in you. And I think you also learned that from Bob Proctor, which was all our mentor. And we want to gift that to you in all our episodes to come. And like Vladi said, belief was basically the second thing I had to learn, as I only shared the first one, which was faith, belief. And you also mentioned Steve Jobs and connecting the dots, that life is being lived forward but understood backwards. And we will touch that as well. And just to round up the whole story, the third thing I learned was to being fascinated again. And probably that's how we want to leave you with episode 0 as a little homework kind of thing. Can you be more fascinated about the now? Because and I'm not sure if you watched this AGT clip with a lady called Nightbird, like America's Got Talent. Just Google it, YouTube it, Nightbird, America's Got Talent, AGT. She said beautiful things in her audition. And one was, actually, it was two things that I want to mention. The one thing is, I'm so much more than the bad things that happen to me, which is really, really 100% true. You are so much more, and we are so much more, all of us, than all the bad things that happen to us. And we tend to forget that. So be fascinated about the now, about what you have, about the things that are going well. Even if you're sitting in the hole, hey, if you can still see the sunshine, that's something to be grateful for. If you have a shovel, be grateful for. Yeah, but Norman, I dig down. How about you pile up all the dirt and find your way up and build a staircase out of the hole? You have so much things. You're still breathing. You can still stand. Probably you can still walk, even if it feels you're in a hole and you can just walk in a circle. But hey, at least you can do that. So you're so much more than the bad things that happen to you. And the second thing, basically, she said, I don't remember 100% how she said it, but basically it was, you cannot wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. And again, because it's such a beautiful sentence, you cannot wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy, because you only have the now. And that's where we want to help you, to give you a lot of information and input and things to think about how you can make your now much better. So have faith, believe in yourself, and be more fascinated. And Vladi, how do you want to wrap up today?
I'll wrap up with saying fascination and appreciation. I love what you said, and I do feel that we just lose the passion. And I've learned the word fascination Well, in the sense we're going to use it from Norman, actually, because, you know, when I met him, he was like, oh, this fascinates me. And it fascinates me. And if you're around with people who see good in everything and everybody and get really that fire energy, think about this. You meet someone who really fascinates you or something that fascinates you, it's going to really change your life. It will. Because the energy, you start vibrating higher energy, you move to a higher frequency, and it really gives you the boost. And I do love what Norman said about happiness. And I was looking under my desk because I do say, I do use the quote, be happy first, and then things happen. Sometimes we say, when I have more money, then I will be happier. When I meet my soulmate, I can be happier. When I buy my house or car or whatever, get to the holiday I'd love to go, then I will be happier. But that's not how it's happening, because the happiness comes from within. So you filling, or you filling in the gaps from outside the world. Whereas when you fill it from inside, like Norman just said, be happy first, and then all the things happen to you. And it really is something we'll be touching on genuinely on all the episodes, because that's what we had to learn. You know, sometimes it's challenging. It's easy to make the statement, okay, I'm going to be happy today, but how to react or respond when that situation that challenges us comes, that's how we can help you, because it really starts with faith building and appreciation. But I love what Norman said, and we really look forward to giving you more and really help you to apply this as well, because I'm going to go back to how Norman started this, and I'm going to finish it with that. It doesn't matter the amount of studies and accountability and groups you can do without you applying it. And I'm going to take it further, applying it correctly. Because I've seen many, well, we both seen many people are studying and they are applying it, and yet they're not seeing the result. It really comes to changing something within you, and then anything you would love you can experience.
It does. So, guys, girls, we look forward to listen or hear each other again in episode 1. And there we will touch the voice in your head and the only problem you have. And how about you lose, not the voice, you cannot lose the voice, but you soften the voice, you change the tone of the voice, you change what the voice is saying. And sometimes, maybe for a second or maybe 3 seconds, you can have total peace and quietness in your mind. How would that feel, and how would that give you a different boost in your life? This and much, much more you will hear in episode 1. So stay tuned. We look forward to hear and listen. And if you watch on YouTube, see you very soon. And until then, my friends, take care. Bye
Take
bye.
care. Bye.